didn't hear the splash. That's what haunted me the most. You'd think if something fell into the ocean from that height, there'd be a sound, maybe even a scream. But there was nothing. Just the silence, deeper than silence. Like the water itself swallowed the noise before it could reach me. It started 2 weeks after I moved into the cottage. A gift to myself, really. Early retirement. A dream fulfilled. The place clung to the edge of a cliff, like a secret being whispered to the sea. Painted a tired grey, with shuttered windows and a crooked chimney, it was the sort of home that looked like it already knew things. Things it didn't much feel like telling. That first night, I sat out on the back deck with a cup of coffee, the kind that stays warm in the mug for hours but never burns your tongue. The sea stretched wide below me, moonlight curling on its surface like silver thread. No boats, no birds, just the hush of waves lapping the rocks below. I thought it was peace. I'd always heard the sea was loud at night, crashing, howling, dramatic in its solitude. But this was something else entirely. Not calm, not quiet. It was expectant. Like the ocean wasn't resting but waiting. I remember fidgeting with my cup, shifting in my chair, trying to shake a feeling I didn't have a name for. The kind that sits just behind your ribs, making you feel like you forgot something important. By the third night, I noticed the lights. Pinpricks at first. Low, dull glows moving just beneath the waterline. Too methodical to be fish, too slow for boats. Always 3 of them, spaced evenly like the dots on a domino. They'd appear off the far right of the horizon and drift left, then vanish behind the cliff edge. I thought maybe it was a coastal thing, some strange local phenomenon I hadn't heard of. But a part of me knew better. The lights did not blink. They did not reflect. They just moved. I tried to ask at the village shop in town, a place that smelled of salt and old lemons, where the locals went quiet as soon as I brought the sea up. The old man behind the counter wouldn't look at me when he handed me change. Best not to watch the water too long, was all he said. Not unkindly, just tired. That night, I brewed another cup of coffee and sat on the deck again, daring the silence to break. The air had changed, crisper, like something approaching. I pulled the blanket tighter around my shoulders and kept my eyes on the horizon. And then I saw her. She was standing just at the edge of the cliff to the north near the weathered bird post, where gulls used to roost during the day. A tall woman in a long dress, hair loose and tangled. She faced the sea, unmoving. I hadn't seen her walk up. I hadn't heard a footstep. I called out, just a quiet, "Hello?" But she didn't answer, didn't even twitch. I stood, my coffee forgotten, and felt a sudden chill that had nothing to do with the offshore wind. When I looked back after going inside to grab a flashlight, she was gone. No footprints, no sound of retreating steps, just the dark sea sighing below. Over the next few days, sleep became elusive. The house creaked in ways that hadn't before. The kettle turned on by itself. Once, I found sand on the kitchen floor, though I hadn't been down to the cove in a week. I found myself drawn to the deck, night after night, watching the path those lights traced across the sea, the same 3 dots, gliding steady and silent, and always, when they disappeared, a strange echo would follow, a groaning, low and distant, like metal bending underwater. Then, one evening, I found the journal. It was tucked behind a loose floorboard beneath the window bench, wrapped in oilskin. The handwriting was sharp, urgent. The entries were dated 20 years ago. The first few were mundane, weather, garden notes, small town gossip. But the deeper into the journal I read, the more erratic the entries became. The writer, her name was Eliza, spoke of the lights, of the stillness, of a woman standing at the cliff's edge. One passage stuck with me. Don't watch the sea at night. It watches back. If you see the lights 3 times, don't look the 4th. I'd already seen them 5. The next night, I didn't bring the coffee. Instead, I stood, rigid, alert, beside the deck chair. The wind had stopped, not lessened. Stopped. Not a single leaf stirred. Somewhere below, I thought I heard weeping, faint and constant. I leaned over the railing and stared into the blackness. That's when I realized the stars weren't reflecting on the water, because there were no stars. The sky had gone blank, a smooth canvas of dark, curving sky that no longer matched the world I knew. The air felt thick, like I was underwater, and just at the edge of my vision, I could see them again. The lights. Closer this time, almost near the rocks. I gripped the railing tighter. The woman was there again. Only this time she was facing me. Her face. It wasn't a face anymore. Just a smooth, featureless mask of pale flesh, like something that had forgotten how to be human. Her hair floated around her shoulders, though there was no wind. Her arms hung at her sides, but her presence was heavy. I felt watched, studied. For a long time, we stayed like that, the not woman and I, staring across the void. Then something moved behind her, a shape just taller than her, longer, slithering. It didn't emerge from the sea so much as unfold from the air above it, a shape with joints in the wrong places. And then came the splash. But it didn't come from below. It came from behind me. I spun around, heart hammering, but there was nothing on the deck. No puddle, no sign of anything having landed. Just the faint drip-drip of water on wood, and the distant sound of a voice calling my name. Not yelling, just calling, over and over. I didn't go out the next night, or the one after. I kept the curtains closed and stuffed rags beneath the doors to keep whatever was outside from seeing in. I tried to go back to the village, but my car wouldn't start. And when I tried walking down the cliff path, the fog thickened around me until I couldn't see my own fingers. I've stopped sleeping entirely. The kettle now clicks on at exactly 2:43 a.m. every night. The coffee brews by itself. I've unplugged it, thrown it out, even buried it in the garden. Yet every night it boils. And every night I find the mug, my mug, steaming on the railing of the deck, facing the sea. Sometimes I hear footsteps on the roof. Other times, a knock at the back door. But I know better now. I know not to open it. Last night, I saw the lights again, but there were 4 this time, and they weren't on the water. They were hovering just beyond the edge of the cliff, floating in the air like lanterns waiting to be lit. And now, I think I understand what the villagers meant. The sea is not quiet. The sea is waiting for someone to listen, for someone to fall in. And tonight, the coffee is already brewing. But I didn't start it.